How's it going, everybody? This is Flint from Flint and Steel Survival, and this is going to be a video response to the Fatman's question, what was your first knife? He has his, and if my memory serves me right, which I'm really hoping it does, this was my very first knife. It is a Frontier Schrade. You can tell, oh sorry, set that out of the way, rusted like crazy. It was in a tackle box for a while. I carried it in my pocket for a long time. Basically, this was the knife I learned to whittle with. It's still pretty sharp, some portions. It's got a couple nicks in this blade, and the point's non-existent now. But I remember the exact day my dad gave this to me. I don't remember a date or anything, but I remember what we were doing. I wanted to, carve like my grandpa and my dad, and all the time I would just get to sit and watch, or they'd let me borrow one of their knives for just like carving soap or something. They weren't letting me carve wood yet. I was probably, oh man, 6, maybe a little older, but I was watching them carve whittling sticks one day, and I was so jealous, and I was just sitting there watching them, and probably pouting like a kid that age does. And my dad whipped this one out of his pocket and just handed it to me. He said, I was old enough to own a knife now, or, learn how to use it. But he made it very clear if I made one mistake with it, he'd take it right back. So I was always very careful with knives. I don't recall, other than a kitchen knife, catching myself too bad. A couple little slips here and there, but never anything serious enough to need stitches, other than when I'm trying to be master chef cutting lettuce. But so yeah, this was my first folding knife, and I was probably 5 or 6, maybe a little older, but not much. And if I remember right, I used to keep it in my drawer, and I kept it inside of it wasn't like mints, it was probably like candies, but oh, actually right here, so you know how they make these in like fruit flavors? I had a fruit flavored box, and I'd pop the lid off and would keep it in there, and just throw it in my dresser. But I remember I always felt so cool, pulling out my container, getting my knife out, and then like carrying it around on the weekends. I thought I was the coolest kid on the planet. So that's my first folder. And then for a bonus, this was my first fixed blade. Also came from my dad. My hand's a little bit too big for it now. It would be a good 3-finger grip if I choke up to this choil, which is very uncomfortable for my finger. You can get the full grip on it, but the blade's pretty short. It's nothing special. Got it at an Indian trading post. Real brass bolsters and pins. Some nice artificial colored wood. You know how they do it. Just stack piece by piece on until it looks like that. But I remember for years, probably 3 or 4 years, my dad carried this guy around on his belt all over the place. Yard work, out at our summer home on the property, out riding ATVs, all that kind of stuff. It's got quite a bit of abuse on this blade, and it would always go in this sheath, and I remember him fixing it all the time, and he relaced it. But I remember he gave it to me because he got a new one, and this was probably when I was a little closer to 8, maybe even 10. Let's say I was 10. It's a good guess. But that was a very special day too, because I remember how much my dad carried it and how much he used it, and I just felt really cool that he would have given that to me. But both my knives came from him. My first of each style knife. My grandpa gave me a few through the years, and you can see I've jerry-rigged the sheath. It had a big old puncture hole right out the bottom, so I just duct taped it when I was probably 15 or 16, and then the tie in the back was coming off from where my dad fixed the sheath, so I just duct taped over that too. I haven't carried this since I was probably about 13, but I will never get rid of this one, or most of my older folders like this, because they're all sentimental to me. So those two are definitely staying in my collection. And I hope that answers your question. These were my first two knives. And everybody have a great day. Bye.